Many people want to be happy. They want to have a shortcut in their life. They want to visualize the better world. They want God to forgive them of their sin. They would hardly want to see themselves. They would hardly want to see their own emotions. When they speak out, they don't observe the voice that speaks out. They only observe the thoughts. And that's how they hide their emotions. In the very same way, when you hear somebody's thoughts coming to you, you simply hear their thoughts. You don't want to catch the breath of the thoughts that the person is speaking to you. You don't want to do that. You live a very superficial life. You're fully covered. Now, I have to discuss a very important topic. I hear people telling me that karma is a kind of illusion. And therefore, although we are affected by karma, it's still a kind of illusion. An illusion that we create in our own mind. So they tell me that karma is easily sorted out. How? Is that because it's an illusion, it doesn't really need to be affecting you. All you need to do is simply ignore it. And ignore the karma, don't react to it adversely, and simply believe in yourself. Simply believe that it is I who create my world, and that I'm of infinite soul. And because I believe in that, things will work out well. I don't want to be influenced by the thoughts and by the karma, but I just believe in myself, okay? When I say I believe in myself, I mean I believe that I'm an infinite soul. With that understanding and wisdom of believing in myself, I will not be affected by the thoughts, right? So if I'm not affected by the thoughts, I should overcome the karma. So they are telling me this, and they said that karma doesn't really matter. It's an illusion, and therefore I can overcome it. Because I believe in myself, I believe that I'm the creator of my thought, and I'm the creator of my world. So all I need to do is change my world by using my thoughts. Now what they are saying is very logical. But there is something wrong in that argument which they have just stated. So I thought that I should create a video right now to address that. There are actually 2 points that are in error, which I need to correct. And they are, number one, there's this idea in the minds of some people that thoughts and beliefs, they are illusions, correct? Yes. So they can actually be recreated easily. What they forgot is that these thoughts actually are reflections of our soul. That's right. They are a mirror of our soul. And therefore, they cannot actually easily be erased. Even if you want to erase it and recreate it, you'll find that it comes back to you again and again. And of course, there are some who say that I can observe these thoughts from a distance, so I wouldn't be influenced by the thoughts at all. That's right. That means I unattach myself to the thoughts, and in this way I'm more in peace. That's fine. Your unattachment to the thoughts would help. But it will still come back again and again, although you are unattached to the thoughts. Because these thoughts are memories. Memories you laid down in your past life. Memories that are created by the space-time identity which you adopted in your past life. It will return to you in the next birth. The way to sort out our karma is not about ignoring it or forgetting it, but rather to reverse the memory that we have. And how do we do that? A memory comes back to us because of some form of guilt that we have. We have performed an evil against someone, and because of the guilt, it doesn't go away. It remains. It comes back to us as a memory. So what will happen is that somebody will one day do evil to us in the same way that we have done to others. That will do evil to us one day because of the memory. What we can do is simply, when it happens against us, we have to say sorry to the other party. That's right. We have to tell the other party that perhaps I've done wrong. The act of repenting of your evil action is the key to reverse the memory. You cannot reverse the memory by just simply forgetting the memory. No, you cannot. You cannot reverse the memory by hiding it inside you. You cannot. You have to face the memory and say, I'm sorry. That's the first action. You also need to perform a good action to reverse it. That's right. You can perform the good action on another person. But whatever it is, you still need to perform the good action. And that's how you reverse your memory in space-time. And there is a second error, which I now must state. The second error is that there are some who believe that I am an infinite soul, which is true. I'm an infinite soul. And because I'm an infinite soul, I'm pure and clear and clean. So the karma, which is only a thought in space-time, do I really need to correct it because my soul is always clean and infinite? This is a very logical idea, but again, there is an error. You see, while your soul is totally infinite and clear, the memory comes back to that soul. And the soul lives in that memory and gets influenced by the memory. And the life of the person is totally disturbed unless the karma or the memory is erased. That's the point I need to stress. But there's another set of people, I would call, who has been influenced by the visualizers. I call them the visualizers because they believe that by visualizing a new world for themselves, by visualizing the kind of person that they want to be, by visualizing their better self, so to speak, they can become the better self. This is a very powerful idea. So when you visualize, you create a new frequency. And so the frequency that's related to that frequency will be attracted to you. And so you begin to live in that visualization that you have engaged in. That sounds very logical too. But there is an error to this argument. What is the error in the argument? Visualizers are simply thought creators. So in others, you'll be adding another set of thoughts into your world. You have a memory that has not been corrected, but now you just want to add a new memory to it. That's all. So the old memory will still disturb you with its guilt. Now you're adding new memories. Okay, if that new memory sounds good, but it will never supersede the old memory. The old memory still will haunt you. So it's getting more complicated, and that is all. I've often stated in my videos, and you should follow them, and I always state, the truth is that thoughts are never really me. No matter how I create my thoughts in this world, and I live in the thoughts, and I get influenced by the thoughts, but they are not exactly me. That's right. So you cannot feel the happiness of your being by just creating more and more thoughts. Thoughts are like reflections of a mirror from the soul. What you want to do is to get to this level of the soul, to get to the I am, the level of the soul, and not simply just generate more and more thoughts and more ideas of yourself which are not really you at all. And the more you think of yourself, whether you think yourself as a Buddhist, a Christian, or a Hindu, whether you think yourself as a child of God, it doesn't make a difference because that's your thought of yourself. What you want to get is to get the level of the soul, your own being. It doesn't matter what you are, But your own being is the best place to go, for that is your true happiness. But that is me. So do you notice the problem here? You want to be someone different, and you visualize yourself in a better person that you are. You want to change your life and have a new memory, but you don't want to reverse that memory. So you add and add more to it. And of course, there is another way of doing it, which is also an error. You may ascribe God to forgive you of your sin. You put it into the hands of another person to forgive you of your sin. But that again is an error, because it is your memory in space-time that you must reverse. Saying that another person can forgive you of your sin is a very easy way out. But it doesn't help, because another way to forgive me of my sin is still adding a new thought. Don't keep adding to the memory. The question now is how to get to my soul. Correct? If you're living only in a memory, and all your life you have been thinking of yourself, which is only a memory or so, because yourself that you think of is also a memory, then how do I get to my being? How to get to my soul? Okay. In my videos, I've always given the solution to this. I call it resonance, but not everyone will understand that statement, right? So let me put it simply as this. You see, all the thoughts in the world that you have, they are all reflections of the soul. You can't get rid of these memories, okay? But what you can do, therefore, is to bring this memory closer to the me. What is happening is that you hear the voice of the memory. That's not easy, but I'll explain to you more in my future video. You hear the voice of the memory. Why? Because the voice of your thoughts are closer to you. Because when you voice out yourself, notice that it's closer to you than your thoughts are. Then, as you voice it out, you will touch the breath. I'm giving you an idea that you will have access to the breath because of the voice. And because of that, you get to the breath. Now, breath is the place of the soul. And this is how you get to the soul. You get to the soul by reversing from memory back to the voice, and voice to the breath. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you are a Torah believer, I will explain to you right now. You see, when God created the heavens and the earth, what do you say? Every word that He speaks, the voice that He made, He created the world. He created the world from the voice. Right? So the world is actually a thought. The voice is nearer to God, because He created the world from the voice. But before the voice, it is stated in the Torah that the voice is breath. So that's why I'm saying that you got to reverse the memory or the thought to the voice, and from the voice to the breath. I want to close my video now. You can observe yourself. So every thought you're creating, you use it to create your world. But before those thoughts are generated in your mind, you actually voice it. You don't realize it, but it's inside you, you voice it out. So all I'm asking you is to reverse the process in yourself. The karma is your thoughts, isn't that right? Okay, so observe the voice in that thought. Get to the voice that's within you. And then when you get to the voice, you can get to the breath. Not an easy thing, you've got to follow my videos. But that's the process. The process is go back to where I am. That's right. From the thoughts to me. And while you're trying to get the voice of the thoughts, you will notice that it gets very near you. And this is where you're afraid. Yes. You want to hide yourself. And most people don't want to get to the voice of the thought, because they are afraid to be themselves. So there are a lot of emotions that are hidden in you. Most people are. They have covered themselves so fully they cannot undress at all. And you don't even know that you cannot undress. And you're totally missing yourself simply because you cannot get home to your voice and to your breath. what you only notice is a toss. And what you wanted to see was just simply hammer the toss. That's how you handle your world, by hammering on the toss. That means to say you get angry with people with their thoughts, or even with your own thoughts. But you cannot get to the breath of the thoughts, to the voice of the thoughts. Why? Because when you get to the breath of the thought, the voice of your thought, you have to undress. You have to live a life very sincere and honest to yourself. Because there are a lot of emotions in every thought you make. There's a lot of emotion in every thought you make. Yes. And a lot of dishonesty in all those emotions. There's a lot of guilt. So let me lead you there slowly. Many people want to be happy. They want to have a shortcut in their life. They want to visualize the better world. They want God to forgive them of their sin. They would hardly want to see themselves. They would hardly want to see their own emotions. When they speak out, they don't observe the voice that speaks out. They only observe the thoughts. And that's how they hide their emotions. In the very same way, when you hear somebody's thoughts coming to you, you simply hear their thoughts. You don't want to catch the breath of the thoughts that the person is speaking to you. You don't want to do that. You live a very superficial life. You're fully covered. And that's what is happening. That's a causation. When I ask you to return to I am, to your presence, I don't mean you should imagine yourself. I'm asking you to get to the place where you are, the very presence that you are. This is your true happiness. This is your salvation. Get to the I am. Thank you. God bless you. So thoughts is the way in which we hide ourselves. That's why we say that thoughts are illusion. But it is incorrect to say that it is fully an illusion, because thoughts are actually a reflection of our soul. But thoughts will be able to hide ourselves better than the voice, than our breath. But then there are those who don't even want to have a thought. That's right. They're so worried in their life, and so what they do is that they meditate and rub off the thoughts altogether. They throw away the thoughts, they say. And in this way, they can feel some peace in their life. And this they call the presence. But unfortunately, that's not my understanding of presence. You see, what they do is that without the thoughts, they couldn't even dwell into their own voice. Without the thoughts, they couldn't ever even consider their own life. It's like being dead. So you see, my good friends, it is very, very important for us to observe our thoughts and dwell into those thoughts, enter into our thoughts as voice and as breath. Because the objective is to understand ourselves and to go to the soul within. Our objective is not to hide ourselves. Our objective is not about peace. So our objective is to live in this world and to celebrate everything in this world. And we create this world by our thoughts, right? So we don't want to rub them off. The thoughts is the way we celebrate ourselves. But we need to celebrate with our presence in the world. And this is why I am is very important.